Hi there and welcome back to a very hot part of the UK as I'm recording today. We've got my fan whirring away in the background. So today we are going to be talking about ways that you can get that work-life balance, work-life harmony. Last time I was talking about workaholic traits, and today we're going to be looking at how you can manage them, how you can reduce your workaholism. So we are going to be covering fear of failure, perfectionism, passion and purpose, a need to control and to be in control, and an inability to switch off, all of which are traits of workaholism and can greatly impact on that balance that I just mentioned, but also on your health, on your physical, your psychological and your emotional well-being. So one of the big things that drives entrepreneurs to overwork and to use up all the available time to complete tasks is a fear of failure. And for entrepreneurs and leaders, the pressure is immense, that need to be successful, that need to meet your financial obligations can really push you into overworking very, very easily. So it's important to remember a few things that may help us get more of a realistic grip on this fear that drives us. First of all, failure is a natural part of being human. It is a way of drawing lessons, of learning from experiences that don't go to plan. So making a shift in your mindset from thinking that a failure or something not working out as you had intended is a complete catastrophe, you can start looking at these as learning opportunities instead. Whilst embracing these lessons, practice self-compassion and practice especially noticing what you have achieved. It's very rare that something is a complete and utter failure. There may be parts that didn't go to plan, but there will be parts mostly that did work out. So train yourself to notice these things more. Focus your attention on all your wins, small and big, and encourage yourself in this self-compassionate way. Perfectionism is another common trait found in workaholics and comes from a fear of being perceived as inadequate or a need to prove ourselves. First and foremost, we have to accept that perfection does not exist. So striving for perfection means that we're on the losing streak from the get-go. We will never attain perfection, which can be really hard for perfectionists to accept. So we need to practice getting used to what we're doing being good enough. Now at first, good enough sounds like a really, really low standard and a huge drop down from the high standards of a perfectionist. But good enough literally is good enough. It means that something does the job it was intended to do. It is fit for purpose. And once we get practiced in the art of saying, yeah, that'll do, good job, good enough, then we can draw a line after that task and close our laptop and go and have some fun or move on to the next task. So that's the first thing, to start practice saying, yep, that's good enough. Check what is the purpose of this task. And when you have met the criteria, it's good enough. So move on. Also embracing the idea of being a contributor, not trying to be the guru, the one with all the answers, the one who has created that elusive service or product that nobody else has thought of. You may be first to market, but there will soon be people snapping at your heels if you are. But there is no one person, there is no one service, no one product that will answer all the problems. So seeing yourself as a contributor, having a very valuable contribution to make, and having your unique take on something with your experience and your skills is a fantastic achievement in and of itself. So feeling pleased, feeling proud of yourself for being a contributor is a real important shift in moving away from that perfectionist tendency. The passion and purpose that has driven you to become an entrepreneur or a leader is really, really important, but it can become all-encompassing. It can just take over our life so that there are no boundaries or very blurred boundaries between our work and our personal life. So that passion is not going to stay passionate and fulfilled if we don't pause and source energy and ideas and inspiration from places and experiences outside of our work. So you owe it to yourself, to your business, to look to the outside for inspiration. So practice putting some boundaries in place, setting some timers for yourself, deciding that you're going to switch off at a certain time on a certain day. Again, start small. If you have just been working 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year up until now, but you will benefit and your business will benefit if you can learn to press pause. So just start small and carve out small chunks of time. Maybe aim for 10 minutes a day where you just go and have a walk round the block, or you do something that is not connected to your work. And then build up gradually, and you will find that if you lift your head up from your desk and you look around and allow yourself to explore hobbies or other interests, then you will become a more effective business leader. Next, we come to control, and this is a real biggie for entrepreneurs and leaders, especially if you are the founder of your business. So it can be really difficult to relinquish control because you feel that you know how everything should be done and you have a very clear idea on how that should happen. But if you trust and empower the people around you, whether they are your collaborators, whether they are people you outsource to, or people in your team, you will get a different sort of response from them. You will motivate them. They will feel that they are trusted, and their creativity and ability to innovate will skyrocket if you're able to just lean back a little bit. Practice delegating. Start with really small things if this is something that you really struggle with. Just very small, almost unimportant tasks, and gradually build up and get used to letting go, and again accepting that maybe somebody isn't going to do it in the way that you would have done, maybe not to the exact standard you would have done, but coming back to what I said a few moments ago, it will be good enough. By embracing the power of teamwork, you will see the potential for growth in your business. So practice leaning back a little more, asking questions and listening to those people around you, and enjoy not having to be hands-on and reaching in and micromanaging. You might surprise yourself. Difficulty in switching off from your work is very common amongst entrepreneurs and business leaders, and our work can feel like a safe place, a haven, something that we can control, coming back to a point from earlier on. And it can feel like a distraction, especially if there is stuff out there in the world or in our personal life that is maybe challenging and we don't want to be facing up to that, then we can bury ourselves in our work. But it can then become a vicious cycle, and switching off is something we've completely forgotten how to do. So the common thread through all the tips I've shared with you today is to start small. So if you're not used to switching off, then do start small. I mentioned just carving out 10 minutes of time to do something for you. This could be doing some mindful practice or some meditation if that feels like a good thing to you to do. You could enroll in a class or get a teacher to help you, just to make it a little bit easier and to make it more of a commitment and make it harder for you to duck out of. But it doesn't have to be that. There may be something else. It might just be reconnecting with nature. And whether you're in the countryside or in a city, there are always green spaces. There are usually always birds in the sky to watch. Just carve out 10 minutes initially and give yourself a chance to people watch, bird watch, nature watch, to get yourself away from your work. And practice self-care, giving yourself the opportunity to have a nice relaxing bath if that's something that brings you joy. Reading something, listening to a podcast that is not connected directly to your work. All of these things can help you get used to switching off. So start small and build on that. It will get easier with practice. I hope you found those tips useful. I'd love to know if you try any of them, how you get on. So please do pop comments down below. If you're really struggling to implement any of those tips and suggestions, maybe you need to consider working with a professional therapist in order to deal with the root causes of your workaholism and that lack of work-life harmony and balance. If you'd like to know more about working with me, there are details down below, so you're very welcome to get in touch. Until next time, have a great week. Bye for now.